Hello, you guys. What's up, Benjamin? You are first. What's up, Losh? You are second. What's up, Wing Chun? You are third. What's up, Rude Noise? Third and one half. No, don't say that. You're almost one whole person. What's up, Sal? You are here. How's it going? How are you guys doing? Doot. All right. I have a feeling Wordle's gonna go super quick today. What do you think? All right. What's up, Neko-chan? How's it going? All right. 2 minutes, okay? This is how long it's going to take. Whoa! Stoic. What was that? That was like 10 seconds. What's up, Casey? How's it going? What is the collections? Connections. Many cats in the chat. All right. What's up, Sunny Side Up? How are you doing? All right, we got Crunch, Substance, Demi, Sue, Big, Thrust, Sports, Push Up, Mars, Meet, Early Payday, Core, Dove, Lady, Wireless. So already I see Push Up, Crunches, Core Workout, and Thrust. Right? No? Okay. They tricked me. Got tricked. All right. I was sure of that. Early Wireless Sue. Mars Big Crunch. Crunch Sue Demi. Sports. Wireless. What? Dove Lady Early. All right, Substance. Crunch Mars Core. Sue. Mary Sue. Mary Early. Payday. Early. What is this? I don't see anything. Big, small, little. Demi, big, demi. No, crunch. Okay. When you eat something, you eat a crunch. Oh, maybe like a candy bar? Crunch Mars bar. Is Dove a payday? Oh, and then is Dove a candy bar? Dove is a soap bar. Bar. Is lady a thing? Dove? Yay! I don't know what's a Dove bar? Is that a chocolate? Okay. I got big thrust sports. Core. I don't know. Core, the core of a thing, the meat of the substance of a thing. Oh, and the thrust. Woof. Okay. Big sports. Wireless. Wireless. Verizon Wireless. Signal. Phone. Early. Push up bra. Demi bra. Lady bra. Sue bra. Big Sue. Sue. Big. What? Demi and big. Big sports. Wireless. Early. I don't know. You can do a push-up at the gym. You often have to do push-ups if you're in sports. Well, that's it. Sue, big, Demi. Demi means almost a thing, right? Demi Moore. Lady Moore? Sue Moore, big Moore, no. Demi God. Early morning. Big morning. Early rise. Early riser. Early. Sports game. I don't know. All right. I don't know. One away. Wait a minute. Demi, Lady, Sue, and Big. What does that have to do with each other? Big, Sue. Big Sue, Lady. Demi. Big Sue, Lady Demi. I don't understand. I don't understand. Big Sue. Big Demi, Lady. I don't know. Early. One away. Oh. Push up. No. Oh, kind of. Oh, I had it. I had it. I said bra. Push up bra. Ah, I should have known. Sports bra. Wireless bra. Demi bras. Big bird. Oh. Psst. Lady bird. What is a Sue bird? What's the Sue bird? Okay, not good. You have heard Sue Bird before? She was a basketball player? Oh, okay. Never mind. Okay. Anyways. What's up, Bravehorn? How's it going? Hey, Psyduck. Glad you're here. Bird. All right. Let's see how long this takes. Let's shoot for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Wait a minute. Hour? Millisecond? Fraction of a second. Clock. 1, 2, 6. Rewind. Seconds. Up to the minute. Moment. What's up, Nikki? Speed. All right, we got second, we got time, hour, minute, year, day. Okay, it's a time thing. Blink. Timing. Second. Brief moment. Second, millisecond. Half, like a half hour. Quarter. Sync. Just a second. Oh, wait just a second. Wait 1 goddamn second. Whole measure. Hold. More. Delay. Faster. Fast. Slow. Skip. Jump. Clock we try. Daylight. Savings. Peace. Watch. Half just. The word just is in there. Maybe it's not time. Late. Early. Punctual. On time. On time. Time. Earlier. Later. Before. Almost. After. We got before, just before half a second. Running. Timer. Noon. Nearly. There. Second. Short. Long. Late we tried. Haste. Arrive. Ah, so close. Come on, we can do it. Gotta get it within 5 minutes. Drive. Half. Second. Second. Sec. Wait just a sec. Want. Little. Bit. Small. Amount. Of time. Watch thing we tried. Tick. Timer thing we tried. Stop. Stopwatch. Go. Go. Start. Begin. End. Finale. Finish. Stopwatch. Timer. Timing. Give. Finish. Finish line. Just up to the second. Credits. Race. Third thing we tried. Oh, we didn't try start. We did, right? Started. Second. Finish the race in a second. Tie. Damn it. Complete. Medal. Soon. Trophy. Time we tried. Award. No. Finish in half. I'll be finished in half a second. I'll be finished now. Here. Immediately. Immediate. Record. Play? What? Forward. Backward. Freeze. Temporal. You finish. Finish once. Finish place. First place. Second place. Third place? Wait, second. Wait, yeah, second we had. Third place. Fourth place. Fifth place. Oh, it's placement. It's placement. Sixth. Why is it so close? Seventh. Wait, what is seventh? Oh, it's not time. Sixth, third, fifth, second, 0. 0th. Right. Winner. Bronze. Gold. Silver. And we tried win. Best. 0th place. Why is 5th higher than 3rd? 10th. What? 10. 100. 100th. Okay, that's low. 7th? 8th. 9th. They're all so rank. Runner up. Fraction thing we tried. Rigged. Cheat. Champion. Championship. Why is 10th so high? Digit. Decimal. A 10th. A fraction. Well, let's try 11th. Bet. Top. Count. Dozen. Round. Figure. Percent. Percentage. Wait, we got 8, 6, 3rd, 5th, second. Secondth. Is there a secondth? No. Odds. Finger. 10th place. Placement. Finish on time. Winner. Win. Champion. Gold medal. Medalist. 10th. There's no second, right? That's not a word. Single. Double. Oh, God. I thought we had it. What goes with 10th, 2nd, 5th, 3rd? He won. Little. I think we tried a lot. Many. Multiple. Exact. Money. A fraction of a percentage. Inch. Tires. Inch. 10th, 2nd, 5th, 3rd, 6th. All I can think about is place, like 5th place. Placement, position. The hour was pretty high. It's kind of low. Rank, choice, voting, election. Maybe because the election was close. Voter. No, I don't think so. 10th, 2nd, 5th. We tried place and placement. Decimal, we tried nearly. Number, I think we tried. Ballot. Oh, we didn't try. Did we try? No. Numeral. Close. Neck. Neck and neck. Speed. 10th. 10th. Why is 10th so high? Cent. Dime. Quarter, I think we tried. Mads. You British? Algebra? No. 100. Pass 10 minutes. Oh, no! Pass. Minute. Last. Fan. Mark. Favorite. I'm gonna get the sake until I bust out the story? Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2. Split. Penalty. 11th? I think we tried that. Wait, what is it? Okay, other than a race, what else can it be? 1. I think we tried 1. 100th? I think we tried that too. 1000th? Frame. Other than a race, what has a lot of numbers? Like ranking numbers. Ranking. Like a billboard? Charts? Chart? Centimeter? Metric? Golf. We try zeroth. Zeroth. Nope. Score. Runner up. Is that a word? Apparently so. 10th. A team? Team. Wait, what is it? Data. Oh, I thought we had it. I thought it was going to be so fast. Not. Not. Even. Close. Far. Lap. Gamble. Game? I think we tried tournament, right? Nope. Championship? No, same thing. Near. Far. Wherever you are. Excuse me. Challenge. Mm. 10. Tried it. Month. I think we tried day. Week. Date. Length. Length. Yard? Meter? Pound. Weight. Leverage. Digit. Size. Liter. With what? 10th place. Did we miss anything? 1th. First, second, third, fourth, fifth. 10th, 11th, 12th. Maybe 12. They wouldn't do that, right? 12, 12th. These positional numbers are so high. Why? Final. Oh, we didn't do final yet. Thought we did. Oh, we did finale. The final score. Finalist. Technicality. Last we tried. First we tried. Final. Beyond. Latest. Oldest. Youngest. Finalist. What measure we tried? 10th. Second, 5th. 10th. Finish. Finish at second place. Ultimate. Ooh. And done. Win. Lose. Loss. Umpteenth. Oh, I like that. Damn it. Rank. End. Competition. It seems like a competition. But why is competition so low? You finish, you complete a race, you complete a book. I think we try to complete. What about in the middle? You're running. Runner. Dominate. Destroy. Score, we tried. Jog. Keeping pace. Keep. Sprint. Towards. Decimate. Finish, we tried. Middle. He's in the middle. He's between. Finish. Like the country. Practice. Game. Tryout. Score. Baseball. Win. Bat. Ultimate, we tried. Game. Gamer. Scout. Stop. 10th. Okay. 10th. Second. 5th. 3rd. Semi-final. Compute. Sum. Portion. Add. Area. 10th. It's fractions, right? Numerator. Partial. What is this word? Got half. Got draw. Denominator. Well, if it's not numerator, then yeah, it's not denominator. What? Subtract. Divide. No. Pass. Conclusion. 10th. Concede? Oh my god. Competition we tried. Athlete? Olympics? Olympics? Games. Rehearsal? Challenger? Opponent? Victor? 10th! What it has to do with 10th and 2nd and 5th? Some kind of ranking. Like a list. A list of best places. Or worst places. Or holiday. Crowd? Top? Middle, I think we tried. Top? Medium? Low? Lowest? 14th! Oh my god, it's so high! Tower. Mediocre. It can't be one of the numbers, right? They wouldn't do that. It has to be something another level above that. Above the numbers. The numbers! The numbers, guys. Think of the numbers. Average. Mean. Median. Trend. Percentile! Ah! Thought you had it. Quartile. No. Income. 10th. It's like a list. A list. 69th. A list. A list. A top 10 list. Maybe a number? No, I can't do a number. Floor. Yeah, a list. But what? A chart, I think we tried. A pie. Best thing we tried. Finalist. Had most, the worst, the best, more, fewer, lesser. Oh god. Child? Child? No. That was a good guess though. Grade. Second grade, sixth grade. Oh, you're right. Quarter we tried. Grade was a good guess. Good guess. Judge. 14 children. 14th. 14th child. Very common. Think of the numbers. Primary. Prime numbers. How about imaginary numbers? Order. Organize. Total. Calendar. Century. Millennia. Era. Period. Some. Yep. Score we tried. Oh god. Part. Least. Degree. Nth. Generation. Ah. 10th. I think we're gonna be here forever. Quit. 10th. Smart. But he looked at the answer. We won't even think of it? What? Has nothing to do with these? 9th. 10s. Maybe. 1s. Letters? Letter. What? What? Where? When? Why? How? Who? Which? Answer. Test. Exam. We did fraction, yeah? It's not math, I think. Then what is it? Poll. All right, do we need a hint? I think it's time for a hint. They. Next. Ooh, previous. Oh, your answer was incorrect. Okay. We're too good at these. We get so close so fast. So close. Fast. Future. Past. Present. Kill me. Kill me. 25 minutes. Wait. Wait, sir. 10th. Now we tried already. Goal. Sucks. Okay, stop. Clue. 10th clue. The 10th mark. The 10th degree. The 10th. The weakest. Strongest. Last we tried. Final. Must. Guess. That's what we're doing. Climax. Omega. Alpha. Beta. Average we tried. This is impossible. Rest. Rest! Rest? Revolve? At rest. Force. Mass. All. Break. Break. Every. Break. Rest. Break. 7th. Everything. Music. Sheet. Note. Near. Any. Tempo. Rest. Break is high. Rest. But that's kind of low. All right. Do we need to do a hint? We might want a hint. Hopefully the hint doesn't give us the actual answer. Half we tried. Sleep. Longer. Long. Note. Notes. A break. A half. A start. A. Oh, we can't do it? We need a hint? Rear. Back. Front. Back. Peak. top. Zenith. Take a 15-minute break. Direction, conductor. Is it music? Is it model? Apex. Ha! Oh. Rolling, like a rolling average. Crown. Okay, this is like too many guesses. I'm gonna have to make an executive decision here. Hint. What is it? Part way. There's not anything. Part. Middle. Halfway. You motherfucker. Motherfucking game. Halfway? What is this 10th, 2nd, 5th bullshit? What a stupid game. What a dumbass game. I'm done. I'm quitting. How is 10th so high? Halfway. How is half all the way down here? How is half 36? Halfway. That was rigged. That was rigged. Like the election. God damn it. What were the other top words? Okay, let's see. Midway, partway, midpoint. Midpoint. I understand midpoint is high. How is half all the way down here? Coasting. What is coasting? Penultimate. Meandering. Those numbers. They kind of mess you up. Then there's so many numbers. We got fooled, guys. We got fooled. Well, that was painful. To ease the pain, I think we need some snacks. You think we need to send them a strongly worded email? All right. Let's write it live on stream. Okay. It says Choco Sand. Okay. Choco Sand. If you say so. It's like looks like a wafer type of food. Snack. You still don't get how semantical works? Well, it's not exactly, it's the nearest word, right? So it's not exactly synonyms. So I think they just take input of like a training set data of like a bunch of articles or whatever on the internet. And then they just see how close certain words are to each other. Can open it like this. Okay. A wafer. Yum. Let's see. It's not bad. It's wafer. I think it's has chocolate and sakura flavor. Kind of crunchy. Like a 7.9. Crunchy. It's not too sandy. No, not sandy. There are a bunch of crumbs, but not sandy. I like the wafer texture. It's not bad. It's very solid. Very solid, but you can bite into it. And you get this, it's a nice, nice solid feeling. Yeah. That's like an 8 out of 10. Not bad. Not bad. All right, next we got this thing. Not sure what it is. Looks like some kind of cake. All right. It says Dolce here. See it? No? Wait, where is it? Dolce. This is from Dolce and Gabbana. Got a brand name snack here. Ooh. Luxury cake from Dolce and Gabbana. Oh. All right. Mmm. Mmm. Tastes pretty good. I'm not sure what flavor it is. It's like a nice sweetness. Dolce banana. Dolce and banana. Is it banana? It's not banana. The flavor is not that strong. I just taste some generic sweetness. Is it moist? It is super moist. I couldn't even touch it. It's good. Yeah, they keep it moisty, huh? Does that mean there's a lot of bacteria in it? Because who knows how long that's been staying in the snack box. Alright, not bad. That's gotta have to say a solid 8 out of 10. Alright, what is this? This is yuzu senbei. I like yuzu. Oh, alright. What do you think? Is this savory or sweet? Okay. Well, I see. Oh, yeah, I see sugar. So that's sweet. Never mind. Mmm. Sweet and very strong yuzu flavor. I like it. Oh my god. Mmm. I think if it were salty, it would be good also. With the yuzu flavoring. Yum. It is quite crunchy. That is a 9 out of 10 crunch. Okay. Hell yeah. That's 8.5. Is it also solid? What do you mean? It's pretty solid. Has a nice firm solidy texture. Cool. Well, we made 370 guesses on that Semantle. None of them went halfway. True. None of them went 10th way. All right, you guys. Are you ready? So, what happened last week? So, last week, Zhou Botong, he teaches Guojing all of the 72 moves of his empty clarity fist. Okay, that's his martial arts. Zhou Botong, he explains that he was kind of bored of living in a cave all alone with no one to spar with. So, he developed this fighting style where each of his hands could act independently. Okay, so he could kind of fight himself with his own hands. I don't know how that works, but apparently it works in this world. So he did that, and he was able to spar with himself. Okay, to stave away the boredom. And so since he knew this, now that Guo Jing is here, he wants to spar with Guo Jing too. So he also teaches Guo Jing this technique. Okay, and Guo Jing he starts to train it, and he slowly gets better and better, and then he's able to spar with Zhou Botong. Okay, and when they're sparring, since both of their arms can move independently, it's like 4 people fighting with each other. Okay. Anyways, so that's happening. And then Guojing gets this secret message from Hong Rong that her father has promised to marry her to Ouyang Ke. Okay, that's the womanizer dude. He's the nephew of Ouyang Feng, the really good fighter guy, the Western Venom. Now he's worried, but he doesn't know what to do since he's stuck inside this cave. So he keeps on training with Zhou Botong. Now Zhou Botong, he loves martial arts, right? And now that he has both parts of the 9 Yin manual, and he wants to read it so much. Okay, he so wants to read it, but he can't break his oath to his martial brother. Okay, and then the oath was that he wouldn't read the 9 Yin manual. He wouldn't practice it. But he really wants to know what's in it. So he gets this genius idea that he would teach it to Guojing. Okay, he'll just read it, he'll teach it to Guojing, but he wouldn't actually practice it. Okay, so he'll see how like all of the intricacies of the martial arts. He'll see Guojing practice it, but he won't have to practice it himself. So now there are so he does this. Okay, Guojing doesn't know. Okay. Now, there are some parts that are undecipherable in the text, but Zhou Botong tells Guojing to memorize them anyways. I'm sure we'll find out what those parts mean in a later chapter. So that's happening. Guojing kind of worries about Hong Rong, but Zhou Botong tells him not to bother with women and only practice martial arts. Okay, nothing good comes from women. But I think he doth protests too much. It seems like Zhou Botong had some kind of a romance at some point that went sour, and now he just swore off all women. One day, they hear a bunch of snakes slithering towards them, and then that's where we stopped. How's that? The Goon Cave. That's right. I don't want to know what happens in that cave. He can play rock, paper, scissors with himself. That's so fun. Guojing can do the 9 yin with one hand and the 18 palms with the other. It'll be super powerful. I think the snakes were before the lessons. Well, there's one snake where it almost kills Jobo Tong, but then I think when we stopped, they were hearing sounds of some more snakes. Maybe that's why his ex left him. He's gooning with both hands independently. Gooning is kind of a good word, okay? Like, I'm not up with the slang, internet slang these days. The gooning, you just know what it is when you hear it. Okay, hold on. Do. Okay. Chapter 18. 3 trial questions. That's why Jobo Tong doesn't need a woman. He's got 2 on his hands. Following the sound of the snakes, Guojing moved forward. After walking several dozen steps, he saw under the moonlight thousands upon thousands of green snakes slithering in a long formation. I think we know who these people are. Around a dozen men dressed in white guided the snakes with long poles, pushing any snakes that strayed back into line. Guojing was alarmed. What are they driving all these snakes here for? Could it be that the western venom is here? Overcoming his apprehension, he hid behind a tree and continued to follow the snake team northward. The men herding the snakes didn't seem particularly skilled in martial arts and hadn't noticed him. At the front of the line, a mute servant of Huang Yaoxi led the way. The group wound through the trees, twisted and turned for miles, and eventually arrived at a large open grass field, bordered to the north by a line of bamboo groves. Okay. Looks like Guojing can get out of the what? The peach tree grove that he's in? Because he's been trapped there, right? So it looks like this guy just let him out. Once on the grass, the herd leaders used bamboo whistles, and in response, the snakes coiled up on the ground, raising their heads. Guojing, suspecting there might be traps within the bamboo, dared not reveal himself on the open grass field. He instead slipped into the woods on the east, moved northward, and crept up to the bamboo edge. Listening carefully, he heard only silence in the grove, so he cautiously proceeded between the green bamboo stalks. Inside the grove was a bamboo pavilion, with a sign overhead that read Emerald Pavilion. On either side of the sign was a couplet, which in the moonlight he could clearly read. With the sword in peach blossom shadows, commanding the seas to the rhythm of the jade flute. Bamboo furniture, including a table and chairs, was placed inside the pavilion, well worn with use over the years, gleaming faintly under the moonlight. Beside the pavilion stood 2 ancient pine trees with intertwined branches, their gnarled forms indicating that they were likely several hundred years old, lending a serene and timeless air to the scene. Looking back out, Guojing saw that the snake procession continued to pour in, now made up not of green vipers, but of large, long-tailed snakes with glittering golden scales, followed by massive black serpents. When does a snake's tail start and the body begin? On the grass, the sea of snakes swayed and flicked their tongues. The snake handlers divided the snakes into eastern and western rows, leaving a pathway down the center. Soon after, dozens of women dressed in white, holding red silk palace lanterns, arrived and gracefully positioned themselves along the path. Then 2 men walked down the pathway. The first, dressed in a white satin robe embroidered with gold flowers and holding a folding fan, was none other than Ouyang-ke, this bastard. As he approached the bamboo grove, he announced loudly, Ouyang Feng of the Western region pays his respects to Master Huang of Peach Blossom Island. Guojing thought to himself, so it is indeed Western Venom. No wonder he's brought such a grand entourage. Bracing himself, he observed Ouyang-ke's companion, but with the man standing backlit, he couldn't make out his face. As soon as the 2 men stopped, Huang Yaoshi emerged from the bamboo grove, holding Huang Rong by the hand, clearly causing Guojing to gasp aloud in shock. Nearly causing him to gasp aloud in shock. Ouyang Feng quickly stepped forward to greet Huang Yaoshi with a formal bow. Oh, we get to see what Ouyang Feng looks like. One of the 5 greats. And Huang Yaoshi responded in kind. However, Ouyang-ke immediately dropped to his knees, kowtowed 4 times, and addressed him, saying, Son-in-law greets father-in-law. I hope father-in-law is well. Huang Yaoshi replied, Enough, extending his hand to help him up. Aware that Huang Yaoshi might test his martial abilities, Ouyang-ke was prepared, focusing his energy to remain steady as Huang Yaoshi reached for his left arm to help him up. However, despite his preparation, his body gave a tremendous shake, and he barely had time to cry out, Ah! before he flipped upside down, plummeting headfirst towards the ground. He kind of embarrassed his son-in-law there, his future son-in-law. Ouyang Feng extended his staff horizontally, bracing it against his nephew's back to support him, allowing Ouyang-ke to land stably. Ouyang Feng laughed and remarked, Ah, Brother Huang, you make your son-in-law do a somersault as a greeting gift. Guojing thought he detected a metallic ring to his voice, sharp and grating. Huang Yaoshi replied, He once teamed up with others to bully my blind disciple, and later he set up a snake array to threaten her. I had to see how accomplished he really is. Ouyang Feng laughed heartily and said, Ho, 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 ho. He's a frog guy, right? A toad guy. Ho, 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 ho. A minor misunderstanding among the young ones, Brother Yao. No need to mind it. Now, my nephew, surely he's a suitable match for your esteemed daughter. He then glanced at Huang Rong, looking her over closely, and clicked his tongue in admiration. Brother Huang, you've outdone yourself. A girl this beautiful, truly remarkable. But he has a metallic voice. I don't know how to do a metallic voice. He then glanced at Huang Rong, reaching into his robes, he pulled out a small ornate box, opened it, and revealed a dull yellowish orb about the size of a pigeon egg. Like Darth Vader? Handing it towards Huang Rong, he said, This is the longhorn. Sorry. This is the longhorn earth dragon pill, crafted from the essence of rare western creatures and infused with medicinal herbs. Keep it on you and you'll be immune to all poisons. There is only one in the world. When you become my nephew's wife, you won't need to worry about his uncle's poisonous snakes and insects, though this may not be a remarkable treasure to a man as knowledgeable as your father. It's a humble gift of mine. By offering Huang Rong such a potent anti-venom, Ouyang Feng showed sincerity in his intentions, hoping to win over Hong Yaoshi's trust. Seeing this, Guo Jing thought, Ronger and I are together, and she'll never change her mind. Ronger and I are together, and she'll never change her mind. She won't accept any gift from you. To his surprise, Hong Rong smiled and said, Thank you so much, and reached out to take it. Ouyang Ke, mesmerized by Hong Rong's beauty, became even more entranced with each word and smile. He thought, Her father has promised her to me. No wonder she now looks at me so differently. Just as he felt proud, he suddenly saw a flash of gold. He cried out, Not good, and performed a backward flip to avoid the attack. Hong Yaoshi scolded, What are you doing? With the flick of his left sleeve, he brushed away the handful of golden needles Huang Rong had thrown. She's about to kill her future husband. With his right hand, he swung his palm toward her shoulder. Huang Rong cried out, Father, go ahead and kill me if you want, because I'd rather die than marry this despicable man. Ouyang Feng quickly shoved the earth dragon pill into Hong Rong's hand, and with a swift motion deflected Huang Yaoshi's palm. He chuckled and said, Your daughter was merely testing my nephew's skills. No need to take it seriously. Huang Yaoshi's strike on his daughter was without any real force, and Ouyang Feng had only lightly intercepted it. It didn't sound like it? No. Ouyang Ke stood up straight, feeling a dull pain in his chest where a few needles had hit him. Unwilling to admit defeat, he kept a calm expression, though his face showed a hint of embarrassment. Inside, he felt deeply disappointed. In the end, she still refuses to marry me. This is a strange betrothal ceremony? Oh, yeah. It's how they did it back in the day. I wonder how their marriage is going to go. Ouyang Feng laughed. Brother Yao, it's been over 20 years since we parted on Mount Hua. Now, in allowing this marriage to happen, you honor me. If you ever have need of me, I'll never refuse. Hong Yaoshi replied, Who would dare to provoke you, the old venom? 20 years in the West. Surely you've developed some impressive new skills. Show us what you've learned. Hong Rong, hearing her father invite him to demonstrate his skills, brightened up, wiped away her tears, and leaned against her father, her eyes fixed on Ouyang Feng. She noticed he was holding a thick, twisted black staff, apparently made of iron. At the end of the staff was a grinning, grotesque head with sharp white teeth bared. The staff itself was wrapped in two silvery scaled snakes slithering along its length. Two snakes? That's the medicine symbol, right? Ouyang Feng laughed and said, My skills were inferior to yours in the past, and after neglecting them for over 20 years, I must be even further behind. Now that we're family, I thought I'd stay on Peach Blossom Island for a while, learn a bit from you, and trade tips. When Ouyang Feng sent a messenger proposing marriage on behalf of his nephew, Huang Yaoshi had thought that among the few people in the world who could rival his martial arts, Ouyang Feng was one of them, making their families well matched. The letter's humble tone had pleased him, and he agreed to the proposal, reasoning that his daughter, headstrong as she was, would be difficult to manage by anyone else. While he disliked the young man Guo that she favored, Ouyang Ke, with skills likely passed down from his uncle, would be unmatched among the younger generation. But now, hearing Ouyang Feng speak so modestly, Huang Yaoshi grew suspicious, knowing his old friend's cunning and reluctance to admit defeat in martial arts. The staff of Asclepius? You think it only has one snake? Oh, really? Hold on, let's look it up. Staff of Asclepius. Asclepius. Oh, you're right. Only one snake. Wait, what about this? Oh, it's a caduceus. Oh, so wait. Let's see. This one is the medical symbol. So what is the other one? Caduceus. The staff of Hermes. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Staff of Hermes. The staff of Asclepius. Good job, Rude Noise. Nice one. All right, so he's kind of suspicious of this Ouyang Feng dude. Could it be that his toad skill, broken by Wang Chongyang's Yi Yang finger, was irreparably damaged? Pulling a jade flute from his sleeve, Huang Yaoxi said, "Since you've come from afar, let me play a tune to entertain my old friend. Please sit and listen." Ouyang Feng, knowing that Huang Yaoxi intended to test his abilities with the Blue Seed Tide song, smiled slightly. With a wave of his left hand, he signaled for the 32 white-clad women holding lanterns to approach and kneel. Ouyang Feng laughed and said, "These 32 virgins are humble gifts I've had brought from various places as a small token for my old friend. They've had some training in singing, dancing, and playing music, though, as you can see, these Western girls can hardly compare in beauty to the maidens of Jiangnan." Huang Yaoxi responded, "I've never had much taste for such amusements, and since the passing of my late wife, I regard the beauties of the world as no different from dirt. Feng, I must decline such a generous gift." Ouyang Feng laughed and said, "This guy's laughing a lot." "It's merely for entertainment, to pass the long days. What harm could there be?" Hong Rong noticed that these women had fairer complexions, were tall, and had striking features, some with blonde hair and blue eyes, where they come from? Others with high noses and deep-set eyes. They looked entirely different from the Central Plains women, but were nonetheless enchanting in their own exotic way. Ouyang Feng clapped his hands 3 times, and 8 of the women brought out musical instruments and began playing, while the remaining 24 began a sinuous dance. The instruments were neither zithers nor lutes, and the music was exotic and unfamiliar. Hong Rong watched the dancers, noting how they bent forward, then rose, turning left and right with a fluid grace. Each woman moved so close to the one before her that they seemed to form a single undulating serpent. It's a serpent dance. Each woman's arms were extended, and from the tips of one hand to the other, their movements seemed to mimic the twisting, winding motions of a snake. This brought to mind Ouyangku's spirit snake fist, and she glanced over at him to see him staring intently at her. Oh, I can do that. Look. Ooh. Easy. I can dance for you. Each woman's arms were extended. She thought to herself, "This vile man. Earlier, father blocked my golden needles, but I must devise another plan to kill him. If I succeed, even if father forces me to marry him, there will be no groom to marry. This is what's called undercutting at the root." She really just wants to kill this dude. The thought made her smile slightly, which Ouyangku mistook for affection, filling him with joy and making him forget his pain. Dude, she just tried to kill you. There's no affection in that smile. Meanwhile, the dancers' movements became increasingly intense, their expressions seductive, shifting from one enticing pose to another. Soon, they began miming actions of loosening garments, embracing, and other alluring gestures. The men handling the snakes had tightly shut their eyes, fearful that watching would lead them astray, breaking their concentration. Huang Yaoxi simply smiled and watched for a while, then raised his jade flute to his lips and played a few notes. Suddenly, all the dancers seemed to shudder in unison, their steps becoming chaotic before they quickly fell back in sync with the flute's melody. Seeing the change, Ouyang Feng clapped his hands, and a maidservant brought forth a metal zither. Ouyangke felt his heart start to flutter with unease. The 8 musicians had also adjusted the rhythm to match Huang Yaoxi's flute. The snake handlers were now leaping and darting around the snake pit in a frenzy. Ouyang Feng plucked a few sharp metallic notes on the zither, bringing a fierce and intense edge to the music that softened the seductive tones of the flute. Huang Yaoxi chuckled. Come, let's play together. As he removed the flute from his lips, the wild chaos around them immediately lessened. Ouyang Feng called out, Everyone, block your ears! Brother Huang and I are about to play. Okay, so Ouyang Feng plays the zither, and Huang Yaoxi plays the flute. What does this remind you guys of? His entourage, realizing the gravity of the situation, looked fearful as they tore strips from their clothing to tightly pack their ears, covering them in layers to block any sound. Even Ouyangke hastily plugged his ears with cotton. Huang Rong said mockingly, My father is honoring you by playing his flute for you, yet here you are blocking your ears. How rude. Coming to Peach Blossom Island as a guest, how dare you insult the host? Huang Yaoxi added, This isn't rudeness. He wisely knows better than to listen to my flute. He heard it once before, didn't he? Then he laughed and said, Ha ha ha. Your uncle's skill with the iron zither is unparalleled, but are you truly able to listen to it? He pulled a silk scarf from his sleeve, tore it in half, and covered her ears. Curious, Guojing stepped closer, wanting to hear just how formidable Ouyang Feng's iron zither might be. Oh, what do you guys think? Can Guojing handle it? Huang Yaoxi turned to Ouyang Feng and remarked, Your snakes cannot block their ears. Turning to the mute servant beside him, he signaled for the snake handlers to withdraw. The servant nodded and gestured for the head snake handler to lead his men away. They were more than eager to leave, and seeing Ouyang Feng nod in assent, hurriedly drove the snakes away, following the mute servant's direction. Ouyang Feng smiled. I'm no master. I'll need you to go easy on me, Brother Huang. He sat cross-legged on a large stone, closed his eyes for a moment, took a deep breath, and then began to strum his iron zither. The Western iron zither produced a harsh, chilling sound, and although Guojing didn't understand music, each note seemed to resonate with the beating of his heart. The faster the zither played, the faster his heart beat. Oh. He can give you a heart attack? Soon he felt his chest pounding uncomfortably. As he continued to listen, he felt as though his heart might leap from his chest, and suddenly realized, if his zither plays any faster, it might make my heart race to death. Hurriedly, he sat down, focused his mind, and calmed himself with the Taoist inner techniques from the Chenjun sect. Soon his heart rate stabilized, and the zither's rhythm could no longer control his pulse. Guojing listened as the sound of the zither grew increasingly intense, like the rumbling of drums and the thunderous charge of 1,000 horses. Suddenly, a gentle, lingering flute melody subtly wove itself into the powerful zither tones. Guojing felt a surge of warmth in his chest and quickly refocused to calm his heart. Although the zither's sound was loud and resonant, it could not entirely drown out the flute, and the two sounds mingled in a most peculiar harmony. The zither sounded like the cries of monkeys in the Wuxian gorge, or ghosts wailing in the dead of night, while the jade flute evoked the calls of phoenixes or the whispers of lovers. One sound was fierce and tragic, the other soft and sweet, each rising and falling, advancing and retreating, in a seemingly endless contest. At first, Huang Rong watched her father and Ouyang Feng play with a smile, but gradually her expression turned serious. She noticed her father pacing back and forth as he played, stepping in an 8 trigram pattern. She knew he used this posture only when practicing his highest level of internal techniques, which meant his opponent was truly formidable and required his full focus. She then observed steam rising from the top of Ouyang Feng's head. Oh, Ouyang Feng can do the steam thing. Remember the other guy did the steam thing, but he was a fake. Ouyang Feng is actually powerful. She observed the steam rising from the top of Ouyang Feng's head, his hands strumming the zither with such force that his sleeves billowed with each stroke. It was clear that he, too, was using all his strength. Meanwhile, Guojing hid in the bamboo grove, pondering the relationship between the flute and zither sounds and martial arts. He wondered why the music wielded such powerful influence, enough to shake his focus. After centering himself, he began to distinguish between the flute and zither tones, noting how the soft and strong ones clashed and complemented each other, akin to two masters sparring. As he listened further, he realized, Huang Yaoxi and Ouyang Feng are competing in a high-level contest of internal energy through their music. Understanding this, he shut his eyes and concentrated on observing the battle through sound alone. At first, he had struggled to withstand the two sounds together, but now, with his mind detached and observing from the outside, he found clarity. He remembered the lessons of empty clarity fist that Zhou Botong had taught him, where the essence lay in the concept of emptiness and clarity. If he were to confront Huang Yaoxi or Ouyang Feng directly, his inferior internal strength would certainly prevent him from winning. But standing aside and observing with a clear mind, he could understand their techniques even better than if he were fighting. He suddenly realized why, on that previous occasion, he had been able to resist the flute sound better than Zhou Botong, despite being weaker in martial arts. Zhou Botong had been caught up in past romantic regrets, allowing his inner turmoil to render him susceptible to the music's influence. True strength, therefore, did not solely depend on martial skills. Romantic regrets, eh? Who broke his heart, guys? What do you think? As he listened further, Guojing noticed that Ouyang Feng's zither initially tried to overwhelm Huang Yaoxi with sheer power. The flute evaded and dodged, yet took every opportunity to weave its way into even the slightest gaps in the zither's melody. Soon, the zither's tempo slowed, while the flute played with ever-deepening charm and allure. Guojing suddenly recalled a principle from the empty clarity fist mantra. Rigidity cannot be sustained, gentleness cannot be defended. He thought, the zither will surely make a counterattack. Sure enough, just as the flute played a high, clear note, the zither suddenly burst forth with a strong, reverberating sound, reasserting its power. Although Guojing had memorized the fist mantra, his understanding of it was shallow. Zhou Botong had been a poor teacher, explaining little, but as he listened to Huang Yaoxi and Ouyang Feng engage in their musical duel, he began to grasp some of the principles he'd read about in the mantra. With the zither and flute mirroring the ebb and flow of attack and defense, he suddenly found himself enlightened, delighted by his newfound comprehension. He also sensed some connections between the zither and the flute sounds, and the phrases in the 9-yin manual that he'd memorized. But these passages were too profound for him to understand fully, without a teacher to explain. He realized that he could never figure them out on his own, and quickly refocused, aware of the danger of distraction. After listening for a while longer, Guojing noticed that some aspects of the zither and flute duel differed from what he had learned in the empty clarity fist mantra. He grew puzzled, wondering why. There were several instances where Huang Yaoxi could have gained the upper hand by making a few adjustments to his flute playing, which would have put Ouyang Feng in a position he couldn't withstand. Similarly, Ouyang Feng missed several prime opportunities to strike. At first, Guojing thought they were showing restraint, but as he listened longer, he realized that wasn't the case. Despite his slow comprehension, the repeated exchanges over nearly half an hour allowed him to pick up on some of the techniques embedded in the musical duel. Gradually, he began to suspect that some of the principles in the empty clarity fist mantra might indeed surpass those of Huang Yaoxi and Ouyang Feng. Remember, when he says empty clarity fist here, he thinks it's the empty clarity fist of Zhou Bo Tong, but he was actually taught the 9-yin manual. So I think that's why he sees the gaps in their martial arts. But then he quickly questioned himself. That can't be right. If Zhou Bo Tong's martial arts were truly superior to Huang Yaoxi's, he wouldn't have been trapped on Peach Blossom Island for 15 years. He pondered this for a long time, listening as the flute reached increasingly higher notes, rising to the limits of its range. If it could rise just a little further, Ouyang Feng would be defeated, but the flute had reached its peak, unable to ascend any higher. Finally, Guojing understood and couldn't help but chuckle. How foolish I am! Every person has limits, and the things we wish to do often exceed our capabilities. I know that if I could strike with the force of 10,000 pounds, my enemy would surely be crushed to pieces. But how could my punch ever reach that level of power? My 7th Shifu always said, watching someone carry a load doesn't feel heavy, but carrying it yourself might break your back. If carrying a load works like this, how much more so must it apply to high-level martial arts? The musical battle between the zither, flute, and the mysterious whistling sound grew increasingly intense, reaching a peak where they clashed as if in close combat. Guojing, worried for Huang Yaoxi, was focused on the ongoing duel when suddenly a faint, prolonged whistle echoed from afar over the sea. Wait. Okay. This might be the AI adding something that's not there. I think it just meant the musical battle between the zither and the flute. And this is where we first hear the flute. The mysterious whistling. Both Huang Yaoxi and Ouyang Feng felt a jolt of surprise, and their flute and zither music immediately softened. The whistle grew louder, as if someone was approaching the island by boat. Okay, I think we can take a 5-minute break. All right, let's see who this whistler is. All right, I'll be right back. All right, we are back. I like how he's describing the musical fight so far, right? You got the flute notes, like kind of weaving in and out. Yeah, trying to find the holes in the zither notes. Yeah. It also shows like Ouyang Feng is kind of it's more of a brute force kind of guy. And Huang Yaoxi is more elegant in his fighting. Yeah, also tells you something about their personalities. Ouyang Feng struck his zither with two resounding notes, like tearing silk, and immediately the whistle rose to a piercing intensity, clashing with his music. Before long, Huang Yaoxi's flute joined the fray, sometimes clashing with the whistle, sometimes entangling with the zither, creating a chaotic three-way battle of sound. Guo Jing, having previously played the four-person brawl game with Zhou Botong, was not unfamiliar with this type of three-way struggle and realized that yet another martial arts master had arrived. The whistler now stood within the nearby forest, and his whistling varied from fierce, lion-like roars to softer, melodious calls, emulating the sounds of wind rustling through the trees or gentle rain on flowers. The flute and zither each held the ground, neither yielding to the other, while the three sounds intertwined in a fierce struggle. Caught up in the brilliance of the music, Guojing unconsciously shouted, "Amazing!" As soon as he spoke, he realized his mistake, and before he could think of fleeing, a green shadow flashed, and Huang Yaoxi was standing before him. Oh shit. So fast. The three musical sounds stopped abruptly, and Huang Yaoxi ordered in a low voice, "Young man, follow me." Guojing could only respond, "Yes, Master Hong," and followed him into the bamboo pavilion. No. You are caught, sir. Huang Rong, who had her ears stuffed with silk and hadn't heard Guojing's exclamation, was overwhelmed with joy and surprise upon seeing him. She rushed forward, grasped his hands, and cried, "Brother Jing, you finally came." Tears streamed down her face as she threw herself into his embrace. Guojing put his arms around her. Ouyang must not be feeling very good at this moment. Seeing this display, yeah, there you go. Ouyang, already infuriated by Guojing's presence, could no longer contain his anger. He lunged forward and swung a fist at Guojing's face, shouting, "You little punk! You're here too?" Ouyang assumed that his superior martial arts skills, combined with the element of surprise, would allow him to land a solid hit on Guojing, leaving him bruised and humiliated. However, Guojing's abilities had vastly improved since they had fought at the ancestral hall of the Liu family. He tilted his body slightly, easily dodging the punch, and followed up with two swift moves from the 18 dragon subduing palms. The goose descends on the land with his left hand and a regretful dragon with his right. This remarkable palm technique, one of the finest in the world, was difficult enough to resist in a single blow, but Guo Jing, using Zhou Botong's dual-handed combat technique, split his attacks as if he were two people, simultaneously attacking from different angles. Even martial arts masters like Huang Yaoxi and Ouyang Feng, with their vast knowledge and experience, were stunned by this technique. Oh shit. Good job. He's gonna kick his ass. Ouyang felt Guojing's left palm pressing against his right flank and immediately recognized it as a powerful move from the 18 dragon subduing palms, one that could only be avoided, not resisted. He quickly dodged to the left, only to find Guojing's regretful dragon waiting for him. With a loud thud, Guojing's palm struck him squarely in the left chest, producing a cracking sound as it broke one of his ribs. Realizing that if he took the full force of Guojing's strike, his heart and lungs could be crushed, Ouyang quickly withdrew, propelling himself backwards from the impact of the strike. His body was sent flying onto the bamboo pavilion, where he stumbled before regaining his footing, painfully making his way back, humiliated and furious. Every time he sees Guojing, his martial arts dramatically improves. Yeah, true. Ouyang is like playing around while Guojing is like grinding in the background. He's like leveling up every day. hope Guojing finally earns his father-in-law's respect. We'll see. How many levels has Guojing gained? Guojing's attack had astonished not only the Eastern Heretic and Western Venom, but also himself. He hadn't realized how much his martial skills had improved, and attributed Oyanku's injury to a momentary lapse on his part. Bracing himself for a retaliation, Guojing took 2 steps back and prepared for a counterattack. Ouyang shot Guojing a glare and bellowed, "Old beggar Huang, you've trained yourself for quite a fine disciple." At this moment, Huang Rong had already removed the silk from her ears. Hearing Ouyang Feng's shout, she realized that Hong Qigong had arrived, like a savior from the heavens. Yay! She dashed out of the great bamboo grove, calling out, "Master! Master!" Huang Yaoshi was startled and thought, how is it that Rong is calling the old beggar her master? He then saw Hong Qigong carrying a large red gourd on his back, holding a bamboo staff in his right hand, and leading Huang Rong by the hand with his left as he walked into the grove with a smile. After the two exchanged greetings and a few pleasantries, Huang Yaoshi asked his daughter, "Rong, why are you calling Qigong master?" Huang Rong replied, "I have become his apprentice." Huang Yaoshi was delighted and said to Hong Qigong, "I am deeply grateful for your regard for my daughter, Brother Qi. Although she is mischievous and playful, I hope you will guide her with a strict hand." He bowed deeply as he spoke. Hong Qigong chuckled. "Brother Hong, your family's martial arts are profound and extensive. This little girl could spend a lifetime and still not finish learning them. She hardly needs my help. To tell you the truth, I accepted her as my apprentice only to enjoy some free meals, having her cook delicious dishes for me from time to time. No thanks are necessary." The two then shared a hearty laugh. Ha 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 ha. Pointing at Ouyang, Huang Rong said, "Father, this bad man bullied me. If it hadn't been for Qigong helping me out of respect for you, you would never have seen me again." Hong Yaoshi scolded, "Nonsense! How could he have bullied you for no reason?" Huang Rong replied, "If you don't believe me, let me ask him." She turned to Ouyang and said, "Swear first that if you lie while answering my father's questions, you will one day be bitten to death by the venomous snakes on your uncle's staff." Is that a foreshadowing? Her words made both Ouyang and Ouyang turn pale. Ouyang Feng's twin-headed staff had 2 snakes that he had raised and trained for over a decade. He had bred these venomous creatures by crossbreeding several of the most poisonous snakes, resulting in these 2 exceptionally deadly serpents. To punish traitors or those he despised, Ouyang Feng would often have his staff's snakes bite them, causing the victim unbearable itching before death within moments. Though Ouyang Feng had an antidote, once the poison entered the body, even with treatment, one's martial skills would be entirely lost, leaving them disabled for life. Huang Rong, having seen the unusual appearance of the twin snakes on his staff, spoke without thinking, but her words happened to strike a sensitive nerve for the nephew and uncle. Ouyang said, "How would I dare lie to my future father-in-law?" Huang Rong spat. "If you keep babbling, I'll slap you first. Let me ask you, did we meet in the Zhao Palace in Beijing?" Ouyang, suffering from a broken rib and pierced by her golden needles in the chest, he's not doing well, guys, was in excruciating pain. Though he tried to endure, speaking only increased his agony, so he dared not speak again and could only nod. Huang Rong continued, "At that time, you joined forces with Sha Tongqian, Peng Lianhu, Liang Zhiwang, and Monk Lingzhi to fight against me alone, didn't you?" Ouyang wanted to clarify that he hadn't called those people to gang up on her, but could only manage to say, I wasn't with them. Before the pain in his chest prevented him from speaking further, Huang Rong said, Fine, I don't need you to answer. You can just nod or shake your head. Let me ask, Xia Tongqian, Peng Lianhu, Liang Zuwang, Meng Lingjie, and others were all hostile towards me, right? Ouyang Ke nodded. Huang Rong continued, They all tried to capture me but failed, so you took your turn, right? Ouyang Ke had no choice but to nod again. Huang Rong asked, At that time, I was alone in the hall of the Zhao Palace. No one was there to help me. I was pitifully all by myself. My father didn't know and wasn't there to rescue me, was he? Though Ouyang Ke knew she was trying to provoke her father's sympathy to make him dislike Ouyang Ke, the facts were undeniable, and he had no choice but to nod. Taking her father's hand, Huang Rong said, Father, look, you have no pity for me. If mother were still here, he would never treat me this way. At the mention of his late... She's so manipulative. At the mention of his late wife, Hong Yaoxi felt a pang in his heart, and, with a sigh, placed his left arm around Huang Rong's shoulders. Realizing the situation was not going well, Ouyang Feng interjected. Miss Huang, despite all these renowned martial artists trying to hold you down, your family's exceptional martial arts prevented them from succeeding. Is that right? Hong Rong smiled and nodded. Pleased with the praise for his family's martial arts, Huang Yaoxi's expression softened. Turning to Huang Yaoxi, Ouyang Feng said, Brother Huang, my nephew was so captivated by your daughter's skill that he immediately sent a carrier pigeon message, relayed station by station from the Central Plains to White Camel Mountain, begging me to personally come to Peach Blossom Island to request her hand in marriage. Although I may be unworthy, if anyone can spur me into action across great distances, it is only Brother Huang. Huang Yaoxi replied with a smile. Your presence here does me, too, much honor. Reflecting on Ouyang Feng's status and his long journey, he couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. Turning to Hong Qigong, Ouyang Feng added, Brother Qi, my nephew and I greatly admire the talent and martial skill found on Peach Blossom Island. Why do you take offense, contesting a young one with your expert skill in throwing a storm of golden needles? If my nephew hadn't been fortunate, he would have lost his life under your famed technique. Hong Qigong had previously saved Ouyang Ke from the golden needles thrown by Huang Rong, and now hearing Ouyang Feng twist the story to blame him, he figured it was either Ouyang Ke's lies or Ouyang Feng intentionally distorting the truth. Not wishing to argue, he just laughed, uncorked his gourd, and took a long drink. However, Guo Jing couldn't contain himself and shouted, It was Elder Qigong who saved your nephew's life. How can you say that? Hong Yaoxi barked, How dare you, boy, interrupt while we're speaking. Hey, the adults are speaking, okay? Guo Jing urgently responded, Runger, tell your father about how he tried to kidnap Miss Cheng. Hong Rong knew her father's temperament well. He had always despised societal conventions, often saying, Are laws and propriety made for people like us? He admired the unrestrained spirit of the Jin dynasty scholars, doing as he pleased and often going against what was considered right or wrong by others. This earned him the nickname Eastern Heretic. She thought, Though Ouyang Ke's behavior is detestable, father might call him charming and bold. Seeing her father's disapproving look towards Guo Jing, an idea struck her, and she turned to Ouyang Ke, saying, I haven't finished questioning you. That day when we sparred in the Zhao Palace, didn't you bind your hands behind your back, saying you didn't need your hands or moves to defeat me? Ouyang Ke nodded in admission. Hong Rong continued, Later, after I became Qigong's apprentice and faced you again in Baoying, Didn't you say you could defeat me, even if I use all the techniques taught by my father and Qigong, with just one of the styles passed down from your uncle? Ouyang-ke, thinking, that was a rule you set, not me, hesitated, but seeing her stare, he reluctantly nodded again. Hongrong turned to her father, saying, See, father, he doesn't just look down on Qigong, he also disrespects you, saying that even combined, your skills couldn't compare to his uncle's. Isn't that just claiming that if you and Qigong teamed up, you still couldn't defeat his uncle? I can't believe that. Huang Yaoshi responded, Don't twist things around, little girl. The martial world has always known that Eastern Heretic, Western Venom, Southern Emperor, and Northern Beggar are equally matched in strength and skill. Though he said this, he was already displeased with Ouyang-ke's arrogance and wished to change the subject. He turned to Hong Qigong and asked, And what brings you to Peach Blossom Island, Brother Qi? Hong Qigong, though humorous and nonchalant, was a righteous man known for aiding the helpless, and his martial arts skills were unmatched. Hong Yaoshi held him in high regard and knew that no matter how big the issue, he typically handled it within his beggar's clan without involving outsiders. Hearing that Qigong needed something from him now made Hong Yaoshi quite happy, and he quickly responded, With our decades of friendship, I would not dare refuse any request from you. Hong Qigong chuckled. Don't agree too quickly. It may not be easy to grant this one. Hong Yaoshi replied with a smile. If it were easy, Brother Qi wouldn't have thought to ask me. Hong Qigong clapped and laughed. Ah, you are indeed a true friend. So you're saying you'll definitely agree? Hong Yaoshi said, It's a promise. How do you promise before he asks? It's a promise. Fire or water, I'll go wherever it takes me. Ouyang Feng leaned on his snake staff and interjected, Hold on, Brother Huang. Shouldn't we ask Brother Qi what it is he needs first? Hong Qigong laughed. Old Venom, this doesn't concern you. You just get ready for the wedding. Ouyang Feng was puzzled. Wedding? Hong Qigong replied, Yes, a wedding, indeed. He pointed to Guojing and Hongrong and continued, These two are both my disciples. I've promised them that I would ask Brother Huang to allow them to marry, and Brother Huang has already agreed. Oh no. He's trapped. They got him there. Are we doing the whole chapter? It's huge. No, we're doing half the chapter. So just a few more pages to go. Yeah, this is why you should agree agree after someone asks the question. Guojing and Hongrong were both surprised and delighted, exchanging a glance. Ouyang Feng and his nephew, along with Huang Yaoshi, were taken aback. Ouyang Feng said, Brother Qi, you're mistaken. Brother Huang's daughter has long been promised to my nephew. Today, I came to Peach Blossom Island to formally confirm the engagement. Hong Qigong replied, Brother Huang, is this true? Huang Yaoshi answered, Yes, Brother Qi, don't make fun of me. Hong Qigong's face grew serious. Who's joking here? Now you've promised her with two families. Both families have a parent's consent. He turned to Ouyang Feng and said, I'm acting as matchmaker for the Guo family. Where's your intermediary? Ouyang Feng hadn't expected such a question and was momentarily speechless. He stammered, Brother Huang agreed, and so did I. What more is needed? Hong Qigong laughed. Did you forget that there's still one person who doesn't agree? Ouyang Feng asked, And who might that be? Hong Qigong said, Well, that would be this old beggar. Ouyang Feng knew, well, that Hong Qigong was a stubborn man of principle, and today it seemed a confrontation was inevitable. Yet he maintained his composure, only pondering silently. Hong Qigong continued. Your nephew is unworthy. How can he be a match for Brother Hong's charming daughter? Even if you force his marriage, what good will it do if the two are constantly at each other's throats, swords drawn day after day? Hong Yaoshi was moved by these words and glanced at his daughter. She was gazing affectionately at Guo Jing. With just one glance, he found this block-headed boy utterly unbearable. Oh no. Hong Yaoshi was a man of exceptional intelligence and expertise in literature, music, and martial arts, and he had always mingled with the finest scholars and gentlemen. His wife and daughter were both bright and sharp. The idea of giving his only daughter to such a simpleton felt like putting a delicate flower on a pile of manure. All right, just calm down there, Hong Yaoshi, okay? We don't need to go there. Standing beside Ouyangke, Guojing's dullness was even more pronounced, especially compared to Ouyangke's elegance and refinement, which made Hong Yaoshi even more determined to favor Ouyangke. Yet, he knew that he had to deal with Hong Qigong, so he came up with an idea and said, Brother Feng, your nephew is slightly injured. Why don't you tend to him first, then we'll discuss further. Why does he hate Guo Jing so much? Because he seems like a dumb dude. He's a blockhead. Okay, this guy favors expertise in literature, music. Ouyang Feng, worried about his nephew's injury, was relieved to hear this. He immediately called Ouyangke and they retreated into the bamboo grove, while Hong Yaoshi and Hong Qigong chatted about the past. After a long while, the uncle and nephew returned. Ouyang Feng had extracted the needles and set the broken rib. Hong Yaoshi spoke. My daughter is a frail, difficult child, hardly fit to serve a gentleman. I am honored, though, that both Brother Qi and Brother Feng have come to seek her hand. As she was previously promised to the Ouyang family, I feel honored by Brother Qi's request. I propose a solution. I'll set 3 challenges for the 2 young men, and whoever demonstrates greater skill will have my daughter's hand. I assure you there will be no favoritism. What do you both think? Okay. Ouyang Feng clapped his hands and said, Excellent, excellent. My nephew is injured, so if it involves martial arts, we should wait until he recovers. Knowing that his nephew would likely lose in combat, the injury served as a perfect excuse. Hong Yaoshi said, Precisely. Competing in martial arts might harm the family bond. Oh, hey. He's cheating. This is not fair. Hong Qigong thought, You old fox, Huang. Here we all are in the martial world, and you want to test intellect over strength. You should go marry her to a scholar. You say there's no bias, but we know this is set up for Ouyangke to win. My poor student will lose for sure in this contest. Annoyed, he said aloud, We're martial artists. If we aren't comparing skills, are we comparing who can eat and relieve themselves better? Even if your nephew is injured, you're not. Come on, let's settle this between us. Without waiting for a response, he lunged forward, palm aimed at Ouyang Feng's shoulder. Ouyang Feng tilted his shoulder back and retreated a few feet. Hong Qigong set his bamboo staff down, barking, Show your moves! Before he'd finished speaking, he launched 7 rapid strikes. Ouyang Feng dodged left and right, skillfully avoiding each one. He then planted his snake staff into a stone slab and immediately countered with 7 strikes of his own. Hong Yaoshi praised them and, rather than intervening, decided to watch these 2 famous martial masters and see how they had progressed over the past 20 years. Hong Qigong and Ouyang Feng were both grand masters, each leading their own martial arts schools, with their skills already reaching extraordinary heights 20 years prior. Since their duel at Mount Hua, both had devoted themselves to refining their techniques, bringing their martial arts to even greater precision. This encounter on Peach Blossom Island was quite different from their duel at Mount Hua. They began by trading swift, probing moves, each attack barely touching before being retracted, as they assessed each other's strengths and weaknesses. Their fists and palms darted among the bamboo leaves, testing each other with hidden depths of martial artistry. Guojing watched in a daze, entranced by the way they attacked and defended in ways that were both stunning and unexpected. The 9 Yin manual he had memorized contained the essence of martial arts from all styles, internal and external, hand-to-hand combat, hand-to-hand and weapon techniques, encompassing the most fundamental principles. Although Guo Jing didn't fully comprehend its profound meanings, his knowledge and understanding had already broadened considerably. As he watched their moves, he felt that each clash and parry subtly resonated with principles described in the manual, revealing astonishing and inventive techniques he had never even dreamed of. Yet, every time he tried to grasp it, their techniques would change again, leaving only a vague impression in his mind. Before long, the two fighters had exchanged over 300 moves. Both Hong Qigong and Ouyang Feng were quietly impressed, acknowledging each other's remarkable prowess. Observing them from the sidelines, Huang Yaoshi couldn't help but sigh inwardly, thinking, "Hey, I've trained intensely on Peach Blossom Island, thinking that after Wang Chongyang's death, my martial arts would be unmatched in the world. But this old beggar and the old poison have each taken their own path and mastered skills that are both admirable and terrifying." Ouyangke and Hongrong each hoped for a swift victory from one of the two men, though neither could grasp the subtleties of their incredible techniques. Hongrong glanced sideways and noticed a shadow on the ground beside her, moving erratically. Looking up, she saw it was Guo Jing, whose face displayed an unusual expression, as if he were absorbed in ecstatic delight. Startled, she whispered, "Brother Qing." But Guo Jing didn't hear her, as he was lost in mimicking the moves of Hong Qigong and Ouyang Feng. At this point, the two masters' pace had slowed. Every move was deliberate, each punch and kick issued with careful thought. Sometimes one would pause to contemplate before delivering a punch. After the other dodge, they'd both sit down to rest briefly, then get up and exchange another move. It resembled a master teaching a disciple rather than a duel. Yet they both seemed even more focused and serious than they had been during their fast exchanges. Hongrong glanced at her father, seeing his expression transfixed, his gaze absorbed. Meanwhile, Ouyangke was making flirtatious gestures at her, waving his folding fan, trying to look as suave and charming as possible. That's how he flirts, waving a fan. Guojing, deeply engrossed, couldn't help but shout out in admiration. Ouyangke snapped, "You ignorant fool! Why are you yelling like that?" Hongrong retorted, "Just because you don't understand doesn't mean others don't." Ouyangke sneered, "He's just pretending. At his age, he can't possibly grasp the brilliance of my uncle's skills." Hongrong replied, "You're not him, so how do you know what he understands?" The two continued bickering on the sidelines, while Hong Yaoshi and Guo Jing remained absorbed in the duel, oblivious to everything else. At this moment, Hong Qigong and Ouyang Feng were both squatting on the ground, one tapping his forehead with his left hand's middle finger, the other covering his ears with both hands, each with closed eyes, deep in thought. Suddenly, both let out a shout, leaping up and exchanging a punch and a kick, before retreating once more to ponder. Their skills had reached such heights that they had already mastered techniques from all schools and disciplines. They mastered techniques from all schools and disciplines? Conventional moves were no longer necessary, as they knew any standard attack would be easily countered. They each had to devise new, extraordinary moves if they hoped to gain an edge over their opponent. After their duel at Mount Hua 20 years earlier, one had remained in the central regions while the other was in the western desert, with no contact between them. Each had independently honed their martial arts, and now, facing off again, their skills had both progressed tremendously. Yet, compared to 2 decades ago, they were still evenly matched, each with their own strengths and weaknesses, neither able to overpower the other. As the moonlight faded and the sun rose, they exhausted their minds and came up with countless new moves, with their fists and palms changing in endless variations. But their abilities remained evenly balanced, making it impossible to determine a victor. Guojing watched the two strongest martial artists of his time duel, awestruck by the endless stream of ingenious techniques. Many of the moves he saw were half understood, resembling the principles that Zhou Botong had taught him, so he tried to imitate them. But before he could fully learn one move, Hong Qigong and Ouyang Feng had already switched to another, and he soon forgot what he had just observed. Hong Rong watched Guo Jing's reactions in surprise, thinking, after just 10 days apart, could it be that he's had some sort of divine enlightenment, progressing tremendously in his martial arts? I can barely follow what's happening. How is he able to be so delighted by this? Then she wondered, or has my silly brother missed me so much that he's gone a bit mad? Yeah, that's why. They had been apart for many days, unable to see each other, and now that they were together again, they still couldn't get close. She wanted to go over and hold his hand, but just as she reached out to grab it, Guo Jing was mimicking Ouyang Feng's backward palm strike, a move that looked simple but hid tremendous power. As soon as she touched his hand, he inadvertently unleashed his internal energy, sending her soaring into the air. Oh no! Realizing what had happened, Guo Jing called out, "Oh no!" and leaped up to catch her, but Huang Rong twisted her waist gracefully in midair, landing on the roof of the bamboo pavilion. Guo Jing followed, grabbing onto the eaves of the pavilion and flipping himself up. They sat side by side on the pavilion roof, watching the fight from above. Okay. I think we can stop there. What do you guys think? How was that chapter? Half a chapter. A lot of fighting and analyzing the fighting. I like that musical battle. Yeah, I like how he described it. I loved how he showed up that freaking Ouyang Ke. That was cool. Easily broke his rib. It's getting exciting. Yeah, now we get to see the Western Venom. There's one more guy that we haven't seen, right? The Southern Emperor. Yeah, let's see how he is. How good is he? Just when it was getting good. I think next time we're gonna see Ouyang Ke and Guo Jing fight each other. Or do the 3 challenges or whatever. Okay. So if they're not gonna fight, then Guo Jing is gonna be in big trouble. Okay. I hope it's not like analyzing literature. Interpret this poem, Guo Jing. Let's see how you can do it. I think every chapter for like the past 7 have at least one mention of Guo Jing being dumb. They really like to mention that, don't they? Here it says he's a blockhead. Guo Jing is smarter than people think. I think he's pretty smart, right? In martial arts. Apparently he can understand this shit. And every time people fight, he's just like analyzing their moves and stuff. So I think he's like a genius with martial arts. Maybe not with other things. Yeah, and he learned the Joe Botong's martial arts pretty quickly, right? He also learned the independent hand movement thing, hand fighting thing, pretty decently. Maybe knowing the 9 yin manual would be like the limitless pill for gorging. Yeah. Yeah, remember, he still has those lines in the 9 yin manual that he memorized, but he still hasn't interpreted yet. So once he interprets those somehow, okay, once he finds what those mean, then he'll probably be super powerful. He'll be the most powerful in the world. He'll beat all these 5 guys. What about that, huh? All right, I didn't get any wine. So that was cool. Thanks for joining, you guys. Yeah, we'll see what happens next week. I love you. I will see you next time. Bye.